Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Twist Gaming, coming to you live on Twitch from Origin Game Fair in Columbus, Ohio. I am Anne. I'm here with my co-host,
Nicole.
And
David Zuckman.
David, what company are you with?
Obscure Reference Games.
Very cool. David, what do you have to show us today?
This is Overlords of Infamy. It's our first game. It's about being a super evil overlord, trying to make everyone as miserable as possible.
That sounds very nice and kind.
Well, you're doing it in very silly ways, like making everyone's socks slightly damp, or stealing candy from babies, and then things escalate a little bit to like throttling internet speeds to 56K, or refilling fire extinguishers with gasoline.
What?
And then it gets even worse when you get to the domination level plots, and then you're like manifesting a black hole above the Earth, or causing a global thermonuclear war.
Well then!
Yeah.
I can see how slowing everybody's internet speed would definitely start war.
Absolutely. World War III.
Awesome. And what are some of the mechanics of the game? How you want to give us a general overview of how the game is played?
Sure. Each overlord has a series of 6 lackeys in one set color, and they send their lackeys out to collect resources for them. So each overlord, for example, here is Tyranno de Bergerac. It's a gentleman Tyrannosaurus Rex. Yeah, we'll just put it there for now. And he's got a lair with some resources on it.
Okay.
So he would have some lackeys, and then he would start exploiting the land, which means he would put out hexagon map tiles connected to the lair.
Okay.
These map tiles have resources on them, which he would then send the lackeys to and collect those resources. As soon as you have enough resources to complete your plot, you read it in your best evil overlord voice, and then you get a new plot, and you continue working until the game is over.
Very cool. What is the win condition?
Okay, well, the win condition is after a certain number of world events have gone by. For example, in a 4-player game, we recommend 10 world events. So after those 10 world events have gone by, then everybody adds up their misery points that you get from completing the plots.
Of course, they're misery points.
And whoever has the most is denounced the winner.
Denounced to the winner.
Yes, that's
not
very important.
Announced.
Yes, denounced.
Denounced
Yes,
to
yes.
the winner. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Did you design this game yourself?
I did. I have a co-designer, Christian, and he and I did the bulk of the work on the game. There's a couple others in our company, Jonathan Bermudez and Marcus Schubert. They both provided plenty of help as well. The 4 of us make up Obscure Reference Games, and yeah.
So this is Obscure Reference Games' first game. Is it the first game that you've designed?
Yes, both. Yes to both.
Awesome.
What was the inspiration for the game?
Well, honestly, I had just broken up with somebody. I was looking for a way to get my mind off of that, so I decided to start creating. That's history. And my friends and I were sitting around. I'd been playing a lot of board games with some other friends, and then my friends at work, the ones who would then go on to become Obscure Reference Games, we started spitballing how funny it would be to be somebody trying to be really evil by doing silly things. And then that's where the game grew from.
Very, very cool. What are some of your favorite mechanics that this game uses?
Okay. One of my favorite mechanics is the adventuring hero. So there is a knight that lives in the Kingdom of Good, which is at the center of the board. And in the Kingdom of Good, as the game progresses, the world tension increases. At certain points along that tracker, a player gets to roll the die to move the adventuring hero, who will wander around and murder lackeys and liberate the land that you've rightfully exploited, because he's kind of a jerk. But one of the things that we got to add during the Kickstarter campaign were Heroes Quests. So using those Heroes Quest cards, the knight in the center can now start completing those quests while you're trying to complete your plots, and it makes things harder for all of the other overlords. And if the hero completes 3 quests before the game ends, then everyone loses.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's one of my favorite mechanics.
All right, so there's a win. There's a chance where nobody wins the game at all, which is
There's a
appropriate
chance, yeah.
for this theme of a game.
Oh, I would say so.
It makes everybody miserable.
Yeah, but there's ways of getting back at the knight. For example, one of my absolute favorite plots that I just came up with recently is a villainy level, so the intermediate level. It's called Build a Wall and Make the Kingdom of Good Pay for It. Yes. I hope I didn't alienate half your crowd.
It's very good.
Oh, well, thank you. I figured it was an evil enough plot to fit the game. So, yeah.
So you mentioned Kickstarter. Is it has it already been fulfilled, or is it still?
Are you okay?
Yeah,
It was on Kickstarter. It was on Kickstarter a year ago, February of 2016.
Okay.
And it is now on the boat from the manufacturer. Everything's completed. We're just waiting for it to hit the shores, and
Great.
it's going to be shipping in about a month to a month and a half.
Do you have retail plans for the game?
Yeah, I like selling directly to retailers if I can. We don't have a lot lined up yet, so call me. But other than that, yeah, we're going to sell them through our own website, through Black Box, who is handling our fulfillment, and then directly to retailers as well.
Speaking of your website,
ObscureReferenceGames.com or OverlordsOfInfamy.com will redirect there as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
excellent.
And this game, it says that it's 1 to 5. What would
1
a
to 5.
What would a one player look like?
Well, the adventuring hero, as I mentioned before, has the hero's quests that they're
Okay.
trying to complete. In the one-player game, the Overlord is trying to earn a certain amount of misery points prior to the adventuring hero completing 3 quests.
Okay.
So it starts out, as long as you know the mechanics of the game, it's relatively easy to do that. So we included mechanics for making it harder on yourself. You can modify it to make it more challenging or easier if you're having some trouble with it. But it's a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun putting that together.
Seems very versatile.
Yeah. And seeing as it's a Twitch, I think it'd be appropriate to tell you about my next game that I'm working on.
Please do.
Okay. Well, do you guys play any MMORPGs or have you?
ESO.
Oh, what'd you play? Oh, ESO, I'm sorry. I thought you said yes, so, but you said ESO. Did you play any?
I'm not a huge video gamer.
What? No, that's okay.
That's
So,
a lie. You play Guild Wars.
Guild Wars is an MMO.
Yes.
There you go. All right.
I'm so little of a video gamer that I didn't know that that's what that was. So.
Well, that's fair. So, the game I'm working on now, I'm calling Dimensions of Discord Online. It is a
Okay.
tabletop game about being a guild leader in an MMORPG.
Oh, really? That's cute.
That's
Yeah.
kind of cool.
Yeah.
What kind of mechanics are you looking at to bring that to life?
Well, it's somewhat of a deck builder in that it doesn't work like Legendary, in which you'll add it to your discard pile, shuffle it together, and draw them later. It's as soon as you recruit a player, they go in your tableau directly in front of you, ready to use.
Okay.
And the players that you're recruiting, members to your guild, these are cards. And one of their conceits is that they're only online during certain times of day. There
Yeah.
are 6 potential 4-hour blocks of time that they could be online. And when you send a group off to challenge a raid or go kill one of the world bosses, which we call monstrous foes, or participate in PvP,
Okay.
you have to use a group that all share at least one time slot that they're online together.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah.
That's clever.
So if you assign somebody, or you want to assign somebody that's not online, you can call them and ask them to come online into your raid party, but there's a consequence afterwards. So you might lose a little bit of a reputation as your guild. Reputation's how you win the game by having the
Okay.
most. So somebody might see you as, oh yeah, this guy really runs his players ragged. You lose a little bit of reputation. Or you lose some of the loot because the guy pocketed some of it at the end of the raid. Or they might flat out leave the guild with all the equipment you've given them.
I like that it seems like there's been a lot of thought put into making the theme fit the mechanics.
I generally start with theme before I go to mechanics, which a lot of people call a taboo or a faux pas, whatever have you. But I really like building with a theme in mind. And I played Final Fantasy XI for 9 years, and I was a Link Shell leader, which is a guild, for 7 years of that, and I've tried a smattering of other MMOs. So along those lines, it's something I'm passionate about.
Very, very cool.
I think that's really cool. Even though it's not necessarily the norm to do, it irks me when I feel like the game has nothing to do with the theme. Like it's just completely arbitrary. So
A lot of the times they refer to that as like a pasted on theme, right? And I'm with you there. Like there can be games out there that are absolutely amazing, but the theme is just so abstract, or there is no theme, and that kind of takes me out of it a little bit. It's not saying I won't play those games, but if there is a theme, then that just draws me in so much more. I love that.
I've got the huge game board in front of me, and I'm looking at all the cute cartoony art.
Sure.
Who did the artwork for the game?
There were 3 main artists that did our artwork. So that's Jacqueline Inoue did our character design. Doug Scott did most of the board design and the illustrations around here, and then Amit Gadge of Crimson Studio did all of our graphic design and a lot of the parts of the board layout. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for.
I got you.
I can't make words today. Yeah.
The components are really nice too. You don't have generic meeples here. What?
Sure. We have wooden pieces for all of the resources. There's 10 of each of the 7 resources. They're finite in the game. So if somebody has all of the resources and there's none left to complete, you might not be able to complete your plot until you could steal those resources from them.
Were these stretch goals, or is this how the game came when you put it originally on Kickstarter?
That's a great question. When we first went on Kickstarter, it was going to be cardboard pieces only. Mm-hmm. And we told everybody that if we funded within the first week, then we'd upgrade all of the cardboard to wood. And we funded in 4.5 days.
Congratulations.
So, thank you. We also, as part of that, we also let the community suggest overlords for us to add. We had 9 originally. Mm-hmm. And we told everybody, send us your ideas for what you want an overlord to be. We'll pick our favorite and put it to a vote. Okay. So we got something like 80 plus sent to us, and we chose our top 10 that we liked. And the top was Tyranno de Bergerac, which is the Tyrannosaurus that we got there. And second place, by only 3 votes, was the Dead Pirate Roberts.
Can we see the Dead Pirate? Do you have that?
Yeah, she's right here. This is Dead Pirate Roberts. Yeah. And kudos if you get the reference. Obscure reference, not so much. But
Clever company name.
Yes. So the Dead Pirate was 3 votes behind, and nobody else was even close. Like the third place was 50 votes less, or something along those lines. So we decided, okay, tell you what, if we hit this stretch goal before the end, we'll add her also. And I guess that's another thing. That I was pretty proud of, is we have an even number of men and women characters in the game, and none of the women look like they're just dressed in bikinis.
That's fantastic.
That makes me very happy.
You have no idea how happy that makes Anne.
Well, we also have Waffles, and Waffles is androgynous, so so yeah. And the adventuring hero we always refer to as they, because it could be a man or a woman, doesn't matter to us.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You have really great stories.
Thanks.
On the back for each of the characters. I mean, yeah. I'm glancing over because it's a story.
Yeah.
Anne's 2 favorite things are accurate gender representation and flavor text. So.
Okay. Well, we got tons of flavor text on the cards.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun writing those. In fact, I'd say it probably took us longer to come up with the flavor text than it did to come up with all the plots.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah. It was. We had a lot of fun making this game. It's a labor of love for sure.
I can imagine. It seems like it was a lot of fun. The game seems like it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to create start to finish?
Well, I came up with the first prototype 3 days after thinking about it. That was May of 2014.
Okay.
And from that, the game looks nothing like that did. No, that was awful. But it's improved quite a bit, and so we went on Kickstarter in February of 2016. So that was our 8th iteration of the prototype before we were finished, so we went through a lot of changes. Then went on the Kickstarter, and it changed 4 more times since then, because we wanted to make sure that all the graphic design and everything worked really well with the stretch goals that we put in. And we're so happy with the final product.
For funding in 4 days, what would you credit your success to?
Waffles. Waffles. Yeah.
Nice, short, precise answer.
Yeah. No, honestly, we did the groundwork. So we've gone to lots of conventions, both local. We've come to. This is our 3rd year at Origins.
Wow.
Well, yeah, we like to meet people and actually get their suggestions for the game. Like, I'm making this game for other people. This is a game that I'm designing it with the idea in mind that I would want to buy this in a store. Mm-hmm. But I also want to hear what others want from the game. My whole purpose behind making this game company is not making money. You don't go into the game business to make money. My purpose behind it is there's so much crap going on in the world now that if I can contribute to somebody forgetting about that for an hour, then I feel like I've done my job. Mm-hmm. And that's so, I mean, if I'm listening to their suggestions of what would make the game better for them, I think that and building the community, that's what led us to funding so quickly. Plus waffles. Definitely
Plus
waffles. Everyone loves waffles.
What got you into board games?
I I had a really good friend, Juan. Hi, Juan. Juan and Chelsea, they're excellent. They're some of my best friends. And anytime I was feeling down, I was going through a pretty deep depression for a while, and they would invite me over all the time, and we'd play board games. And I developed a love for it then, and I love it even more now.
What was the transition between being a board game player and deciding to try and design your own board game?
I think just waking up one morning and deciding I didn't want to lay around and I actually want to do something about it.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, when you're feeling stuck and you're my job's not a dead end. I got a good job, but it's the same thing every day, and I mean, who says this is all I want to do for the rest of my life?
Yeah.
So is the goal to have this game available at Gen Con?
Well, unfortunately, I will not have a booth at Gen Con. Shout out to Patrick Leader of Vast of the Crystal Caverns, Leader Games. I'm going to be helping him while I'm there, so I do get to go. I might be showing the game a little bit at the Indie Game Alliance booth, and aspiring game designers, you should join the Indie Game Alliance. It's amazing. I would say I'll probably have some time there to show the game, and they'll probably be carrying at least a few copies of the game. But right now we're taking pre-orders on our website, obscurereferencegames.com or overlordsofenfamy.com. You can go there. It'll take you to our backer kit pre-order, and we're sending the games out. If you order during Origins, so between probably Monday, we'll say, we're offering free shipping.
Oh, that's nice.
Internationally, just locally?
Locally we are offering free shipping. We're giving pretty deep discounts on international. We can't do all of it, but we are subtracting quite a bit. So
I can imagine it can get quite expensive when shipping internationally on such a big box.
Yeah, but I mean, we've got a pretty great fulfillment partner in Black Box. Same that they do fulfillment. They're an offshoot of Cards Against Humanity.
Okay.
They're really great, and they're helping us out with that. Yeah, can't really ask for more.
Your next game, are you planning to get to Kickstarter as well?
Yeah, Dimensions of Discord Online. Remember that name is going to be on Kickstarter at some point. It is so alpha right now that I've got it in a cardboard box off screen, and I have handwriting in pen with my terrible chicken scratch on some of the cards. Yeah, I've had the idea stewing for a while. I've only recently started actual prototyping, and I am my biggest critic, but I can say it's going to be awesome. Like, there are some things that we're doing in that game that I'm looking at and I go, this is excellent. so yeah, even as my biggest critic, I know that I've got something there.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Is there anything else that you'd like to tell our viewers?
Yes. Don't do drugs.
It's awesome.
Thanks for having me on.
No,
Thank you so
thank
much
you.
for
I really
joining us.
appreciate it.